Hi guys, so in this video we are going to be going back over the different angle vocab as well as applying that vocab and setting up equations to solve for missing angles. Okay, so our first terminology, our first angle relationship that we are going to talk about is alternate exterior angles. So alternate just means opposite, right? And exterior is the outside. So we want angles that are on the outside of our parallel lines. So our parallel lines I'm going to highlight in pink right here. We want ones that are on the outside of our parallel lines and on opposite or an alternate side of our transversal. So angle A and angle B would be alternate exterior angles, and so would angle C and angle D. So angle A and angle B, and then angle C and angle D would be alternate exterior angles, and alternate exterior angles are going to be congruent, meaning they have the exact same angle measure. So if angle A is 20 degrees, so is angle B. Okay. Up next is alternate interior angles. So again, we have our parallel lines in pink, our transversal in green. This time, we want our angles that are on the inside of our parallel lines, and again, opposite sides of our transversal. So angle A and angle B would be a pair of alternate interior angles, as would angle C and angle D. Those would be another pair of alternate interior angles. These are also going to be congruent. Okay. Up next, same side exterior angles. So, bringing back this highlighting, we have our parallel lines. We want these to be on the outside, on the exterior of our parallel lines, but this time on the same side of our transversal. So we would have angle A and angle B would be a set or a pair of same side exterior angles. Same with angle C and angle D. So this one's a little different. These aren't going to be congruent. They're going to be supplementary, meaning when they're added together, they're going to equal 180 degrees. So angle A plus angle B equals 180 degrees. Right? Up next, we have same side interior. So let me bring this up, get my highlighting. We want in between our parallel lines and on the same side of our transversal. So angle A and angle B, and angle B is a pair, angle C and angle D would be a pair of same side interior angles. The way I like to remember this, the way that I like to remember that they're supplementary, is all these S's, same side, supplementary. Okay? Everything else is going to be congruent, but if you have same side, supplementary, same side, supplementary. Okay, keep all those S's together. The last angle relationship that we talked about were corresponding angles, and this one can be a little tricky. So this one, the way that we like to remember corresponding angles is if they're in the exact same spot. So I'll go ahead, I'll label all of these angles. Okay, so we have all 8 angles labeled. So we have angle A and angle E. Those are in the exact same spot. The copy and paste idea is if you were to copy this top image and paste it down below, what two images would be right on top of each other? Or what two angles would be right on top of each other? Angle A and angle E would be right on top of each other. Angle B and angle F would be right on top of each other. Angle D and angle H would be right on top of each other. And lastly, angle C and angle G would be right on top of each other. Okay? And our corresponding angles are going to be congruent as well. Think of this, we got the two C's, corresponding, congruent, corresponding, congruent. Because if you were to copy and paste and get the exact same, you know, angle A lies right on top of angle E, they have to be equal, right? So this table down here just kind of really lays out what is congruent, what is supplementary. Remember, I'm just going to highlight these S's so you can see. Same side, supplementary. Same side, supplementary. Everything else ends up being congruent. Okay? So, now we're going to take this idea, take all of our vocab, and apply it to find missing angles. So the first step in our missing angles, what I always like to do, y'all know I love my color coding, so I'm going to color code and just zigzag across the transversal. So I'll start here, and we just bounce back and forth across the transversal. And so we know any angle that has the little purple dot is going to be congruent with each other, and any angle that has the yellow dot is congruent with each other. And the special relationship between the two is that we know the yellow plus the purple angle, these form a straight line, so that means they equal 180 degrees. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find this yellow angle. The relationship between this 13x and this angle down here is going to be alternate exterior, right? They're on opposite sides of that transversal, and they're both on the outside of our parallel lines. And we know alternate exterior angles are congruent. We also know that from the color coding. So to set this up and solve, we just get 13x equals 2x plus 88. To solve this, we'd subtract 2x from both sides. So we get 11x equals 88. This at this point is just simple algebra 1 skills. Okay, so we find that x equals 8. Except we aren't done, right? Our angle measure is not 8. We now have to go back and substitute this value in to our original angle to find the angle measure. So you can substitute it into either. I'm going to substitute it into right here. So 13 times 8. To whip out my calculator. Ooh, I don't know what that gives us off the top of my head. 13 times 8 gives us 104. So we can go in and write that for all of our yellow angles. They are all 104 degrees. And we know that the yellow plus the purple equals 180 degrees. We know the measure of our yellow angle. We know that that's 104 plus purple. It's going to equal 180. So subtract 104. We find that the purple angle equals, that should be 76 degrees. Okay, so we can go in 76, 76, 76, 76. Okay. The next one, and I'm going to go do our color coding. I'll keep the color coding consistent through all these examples. We have our yellow, we have our purple. Alright, the relationship between these two angles this time, this is same side, interior, And we know that same side angles are supplementary. So we have to add these two together and set that equal to 180. So 2x plus 43 plus 2x minus 3 equals 180. Again, just do our simple algebra. 4x plus 40 equals 180. Subtract 40 from both sides. You get 4x equals 140. 140 divided by 4 gives us x equals 35. Now we need to substitute that back in here. I'll just go off to the side and do it. 2 times 35 minus 3 equals 67. So we know our yellow angles are 67 degrees. Okay, now we can substitute it into our purple angle. So 2 times 35 plus 43 gives us 113 degrees. Okay. So the key to these is really just being able to identify what is that relationship, so you know, am I setting them equal to each other, or am I setting them, or am I adding them together to equal 180? Okay. I'm going to go through two more examples. So we have this one right here. Notice this setup looks a little different than what you guys are used to in terms of where our parallel lines and our transversal are, but that's okay. This angle relationship, this is alternate interior angles. We know that those are going to be congruent. Okay, so we'll just set these equal to each other. 3x plus 16 equals 5x minus 54. Subtract 3x from both sides, you get 16 equals 2x minus 54. Add 54 to both sides. This should give us 70 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2 and we get 35 equals x. Okay. So again, now it's time to substitute in. Let's do 3 times 35 plus 16. When I plug that into my calculator, that gives us 121. So we know all of our yellow angles are 121 degrees. And we know that our yellow and our purple angles are supplementary. So to find the purple, we do 180 minus 121, and that gives us, oops, I want to double check my math here. So I'm using my calculator. It was 59 degrees. So all of our purple angles are 59 degrees. Okay. The last example, and we're doing our color coding. Remember, you just zigzag across that transversal. You just bounce down and around. So if you were to kind of connect those dots, what that would look like would be like a nice little zigzag that goes back and forth. Okay. This relationship, this is going to be same side exterior angles, right? So we have same side exterior angles. We know that same side angles are supplementary. So we have to add these two together and set it equal to 180. 180. Okay. So our first step in solving this, combining our like terms, that would give us 16x plus 4 equals 180. Subtract 4 from both sides. That gives us 16x, x equals 176. Divide both sides by 16. And we get x equals 11. So now we can substitute in 9 times 11 plus 9 gives us 108. So all of our yellow angles are 108 degrees. Okay. So for our purple, we have two options. We could either just do 180 minus 108, and that would give us 72. Or, because we know that yellow and purple are supplementary, or we could substitute it back in to our original expression that we were given. So 7 times 11 minus 5 would be 77 minus 5, which is 72. As you can tell, both of these work. So you just go ahead and plug those in for your purple, and you know that all of our purple angles are 72 degrees. Okay. Hopefully this cleared up any confusion that you guys were having. Let me know if you have any other questions.